What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. Guys, I want to talk about the notion of being seen. I saw this article, like yesterday on Forbes.com, and it gave me a big old chuckle because it reminds me of something that I've been talking about for a long time, and I want to use this opportunity to remind some of you of the point that I'm trying to make here and how we have to do a little bit better in demanding more from our representation from these major Hollywood studios and things like that, because they love to beat this drum about representation, diversity, and inclusion, and we're doing this for you people and everything. So my thing is, we should have a say in how we're being perceived in the world, because I don't know if some of you have noticed, but the image of black people seems to be going all the way down, while these images of representation are going all the way up. So it kind of suggests to me that we're not being represented the right way when you have the perception of black people to be what it is today. You see all of these articles talking about the racism in the fandom and things like that. But the funny thing is that if you're of a certain age, like I am, then you might have noticed that this phenomenon didn't exist to this level. I'd say about maybe 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, it wasn't necessarily like this. So what has changed as we've ramped up our efforts for diversity and inclusion? Why is the perception of black people and our humanity going down as representation on the screen is on the rise? So I saw this article on Forbes.com, and it just kind of sparked me to thinking, right? And they were talking about The Little Mermaid. Now, of course, I don't give a damn about The Little Mermaid, guys. That's not something I grew up on, not something that I necessarily care about. But what I do care about are the images that our kids are getting and the future that they're inheriting, like how they see themselves in the world and things like that. So the article says here, Disney's Little Mermaid plunges to $5 million loss. $5 million loss. It plunges. It's a failure, in other words. And this goes to what I was talking about before, about the black mask of failure. The black mask of failure, where they put black people out front and center, but they do not invest in that story. They don't invest in those images. It's all we ask is that we be seen. Well, what good does that do when we're being seen as failures? We're being perceived as failures. So whenever somebody looks at one of these new movies or TV shows, the minute they put a black person out there, it represents failure right from the beginning. Now, you can call people racist who point this out, who roll their eyes as soon as they see a black person there. But what are they doing in these major studios for these movies and TV shows? What are they doing to lessen the possibility of that happening? All you have to do is invest in good, honest writing. You know what I mean? So you see that The Little Mermaid failed. And let me just read a little bit here. Disney's live action version of The Little Mermaid lost an estimated $4.9 million at the box office last year. Keep in mind, a lot of people, they argue that if we don't do all of this black masking and black facing, then black representation in the movies are going to plummet. You won't see these movies anymore. The counter argument has always been they have to do this so people can see black people. Once again, seeing black people. But the irony of this is that almost all of these things suffer from low viewership. So ironically, you're not being seen. You celebrate being seen, but these movies are not reflecting that vision because a lot of people are not seeing this. You saw this with The Acolyte. The Acolyte, they boasted of a diverse cast. Oh, we're making history. Oh, it's incredible. It's for you people. It got canceled before it could get a season 2 due to low viewership. Where is this being seen that people are talking about? You're not being seen. And the only thing you're being seen as, if anything, is a failure. This is something that is unacceptable. But of course, people keep pushing back because they keep jumping through those hoops every single time. We saw this with the Marvels as well. Nia DaCosta, I remember several articles, and I covered a few of them, were showing that Nia DaCosta and the people around her felt that she was being thrown under the bus because the movie failed. It flopped. Once again, a movie that boasted of diversity. You know, you had My Baby in there playing. Wait, she's not Miss Marvel in that, right? She's not Marvel Girl, but you know, Tiana Paris. You know, with her fine ass. You know what I mean? She deserves so much better, baby. I'm so sorry, but I'll always love you. But anyway, that movie was seen as a flop, as a failure, and it boosted the diversity. It boasted a woman director, but once again, flop, flatline, failure. You know, so you saw this also with the character of Rita. Yes, I'm gonna keep talking about that. It's like they boasted, you know, this black woman, but you were seen, okay, but you were seen as a failure. All right. To this day, Ewan McGregor, he's fighting for a season 2, even though it never should have had a season 1. You know what I mean? Excuse me. It's early in the morning. But yeah, so you have Ewan McGregor, who's constantly, you know, saying, I'd love to have a season 2, just the way the guy who plays the Sith, Manny, whatever his name is, Quinto, whatever. You know, I make it my life's ambition to have a season 2. It's not going to happen because it failed. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like I see all of this and it just makes me say, when are we going to stop just wanting to be seen? And we can see, I'm going to say it, we can see how this has dire consequences because right now we have a woman running for president, right? And clearly, she is not up to the task of being a president. She's not. You can say, oh, well, she was a prosecutor and everything. Great, be a prosecutor. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are up to the task of being a president. But because they are running this woman under the guise of being black, well, they want to be seen. You see how this goes all the way up to the top? All right, it doesn't matter if she's qualified. It doesn't matter if she's going to look out for the very community that she pretends to be from. The only thing you need her to be is black, and you will be impressed by that, and that will be all there is to it. But once again, the black mask of failure, anyone can see that she is not qualified to be the president of the United States. Damn right I said it. But because you want to be seen, you will support this woman because she's not that guy. She's not that guy over there. All right. So this is what we're talking about. I said the same thing with Barack Obama before. You know, is that all people need Barack Obama to do is be married to Michelle, to smile, and be black. That's it. That's all you need. But see, the problem is that failure follows with that. And we could be about to see a monumental failure when it comes to Kamala Harris. All right. And I'm not trying to make this political. This is just my example of how bad things can be when all you want to be is seen as a black person. That's it. It used to be that when you noticed the most accomplished artists out there, the most accomplished politicians, you know, in interviews, I've noticed they've always said they don't want to be seen as just a great black actor. I've heard Denzel say that. I've heard Idris Elba say that. You know, they don't want to just be seen as a great black pianist or a great black scientist. They want to be the best in their field, period. They don't want to be defined by race. It's not about just being seen. Now, of course, you're making your strides, you're making history. Greatness will always be acknowledged. You don't always have to be carrying signs and waving flags talking about, see me, look at me. No, your greatness, your brilliance will shine forth. I think it was Neil Diamond, who sang that song, Turn on your heart light, let it shine wherever you go. It's the same thing with your brilliance. You know what I mean? It shines. It speaks for you. All right? That's it. You get your reputation that way. But unfortunately, being seen will be the downfall of the black community, wanting to be seen in the pursuit of being seen rather than just doing what you need to do. I just saw, in closing, I just saw my baby Whitney Houston, rest in peace. I just saw this interview by her. It was probably on TikTok, where they were asking her how she feels about MTV. And this, she was saying that, I remember MTV. I remember the early days when they didn't want to play my music. Of course, remember, MTV didn't play any black artists when it first started. And she said it took Michael Jackson, it took Prince, it took Whitney Houston, it took Tina Turner to go so hard, you know what I mean, that they had no choice. It's not that they wanted to play their music. They had to, because these people were breaking through in such a major way. And of course, it changed the course of music. I wish that a lot of these new artists would understand that when they put forth the garbage, the absolute dung, the shit that we're seeing today. They owe it to themselves to be the best that they can be. But no, they're just content to be seen. Just be seen, even if you're seen as a clown, even if you're seen as garbage, as substandard. And so you have things like The Little Mermaid, and so you have things like all of these black-faced, comic book characters and TV shows and things like that. But you know what actually did break through? Remember when Black Panther came out? Once again, hashtag recast T'Challa. It made uber billions, right? It made a bunch of money. A lot of money. It was very, very successful. And they said at the time that it proved that black-led movies can be successful at that time. And what did they do? They killed the main character, pretty much killed the franchise, and then gave us the shit that we're seeing today. So now it looks like black movies can't make any money because these movies are flopping. The Little Mermaid flopped. The Marvels flopped. The Acolyte flopped. All of these movies that tout diversity, equity, and inclusion are flopping. They look like failures, the black mask of failure, when once we had brilliance. And that's what we're supposed to stand for. Every race should be proud of themselves. White people, Asian people, Latino people, Indian people, black people, everybody should be allowed to feel good about themselves. But you can't if you don't demand it first from yourself. All right, guys. So anyway, I got to get ready to go to work. It's getting late. I just wanted to put that out there. That is one to grow on. Doom, 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 doom. As usual, you can get in the comment section. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to contribute to the channel, of course, you can hit the super thanks link on each and every one of my videos. Once again, guys, thank you for listening. I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.